Hey, welcome back. It's July 20th. We are starting court this morning. We'll have a jury panel coming in, and we'll have a plea judge and a trial judge here in Horry. It'll be good to be back. We've been out for the most part preparing for. We had the whole month of June. We were in court every week, and we've used the first 2 weeks of July to get ready. So we'll start and hopefully have some success of getting some of these bad guys moved and some of these cases moved. So next week I'll come back and, as always, alert you to what went on in court. It's either that or you're always welcome to come sit with us and watch. It's an open courtroom. Today I wanted to talk with you a little bit about the difference between civil and criminal. In South Carolina, there are car wreck cases. You may have slip and falls. You may have where people build your building but they put a step too high. You know, that's all civil. That's all civil stuff where there's a contract and person A didn't live up to the terms and conditions of the contract. Now, the advantage from the moving party side, the plaintiff side, is that they only have to tip the scales to win. So it's a big thing, but that's called preponderance of the evidence. You win if you tip it just this much. And then usually on the other side, and this, if you ever sit for jury duty, you'll never hear this word. But this is a lot about insurance because everybody's got insurance, and you can never say that's the four-letter word in civil cases. But a lot of this is about insurance. If somebody hits me, then I've got to say, look, I've been laid up at the hospital, chiropractor and all that. That's really on insurance, but it'll be person A, Archie Andrew versus Betty Boop. That'll be A versus B. In criminal cases, it's the state of South Carolina acting as a plaintiff and the defendant. And this is not about contracts. This is about this person's conduct has fallen so low that it's illegal. This person wrote a bad check. This person forged your name to a document and they cheated you out of your house. Now that could be civil too, right? The cheating you out of your house. You lied or forged something. It's a big thing. These things can be in criminal court and civil court all at the same time. And they generally are. Felony DUI. The state would say, we represent society and you shouldn't be out on the road driving, and because you did that act and you hurt Archie Andrew, society needs some sort of payment. You've got to be locked up. And that is a penalty range for criminal stuff. It could be probation. It could be probation could come with restitution. It could be penitentiary. There are several ways that are fine. All of those things are things that the criminal system does. In the civil system, it wouldn't be necessarily that the plaintiff is representing society. The plaintiff is saying, look, because you got out and did this deed of drinking and driving, you tore up my car and my back hurts and is going to continue to hurt for the rest of my life. I had to have 3 screws in it. So you got to pay my hospital bills, you got to fix my car, you've got to do all of the things that would put me back right before I was in this accident of not my fault. And both of those can go up at the same time. And if the plaintiff's attorney is smart, they will say, Jimmy, I need all of the stuff you've got in the criminal case, all of the police reports. And they can get that through a subpoena or through FOIA. Now, usually it's better to do it through subpoena, but that is a court order telling me to turn it over. And it's the same victim, so we try to comply with subpoenas. We get multiple subpoenas every week. We get multiple FIOAs every week. And that is Freedom of Information Act. I'm sorry, I sometimes talking code. But we get those and we try to comply with all of that stuff. But there are two different systems. And that system won't end up with somebody in jail. They don't have that authority. But what they do have the authority to do is take money, have injunctions. Please don't say this about me anymore, or you're going to be punished by a judge. Don't defame me. Don't libel me. That's a lot more about money. But the two systems can look similar. But our burden of proof is not boop, boop. Our burden of proof is beyond a reasonable doubt. And that is, instead of 51-49, that is 85-15. That's a blowout. And the stakes are a lot higher because you're asking a judge sometimes to take away a person's freedom. And what y'all have seen in the paper, we're asking a jury to give us the death penalty on a case. It could be taking away their life. So all of these things are seen by the legislature and by you and I, as walking around citizens, as a much bigger infringement on a person's right. And therefore, we accept that we've got a bigger burden of proof. So I tell people all the time, this may look more civil. You probably need to go do a civil, but there are times that it really merges together. And like in the intercoastal, you're out there sometimes and you got river water, and then you got brackish water, and then you got salt water. But that brackish water is there's a time that both kind of overlap, the civil and the criminal. But the rules for civil court will be a little bit different, and it'll be a lot more on timing and depositions and doctor's reports and stuff like that. The criminal stuff will be a lot more with police officers and how is this person injured and why you are responsible for doing that. So both of them are out there. This is another oddity of South Carolina, but we call criminal court general sessions, and we call civil court common pleas. So if you've ever wondered, you go upstairs and a deputy is asking you about jury duty, and you say, well, I'm supposed to be in for a car wreck. He'll say, okay. Instead of him saying that's civil, he might very well say, that's common pleas. That's Old English terms, and that's why they're still around, but most other states say civil and criminal. Anyway, have a great week, and we'll come back and update you on this week's coming and going in criminal court.